2024 is here, and a lot of driver contracts are expiring at the end of this year, and many teams are assessing their best options for the future. While many people expect a lot of swaps to take place by the end of 2024, I personally think it's pretty much going to stay the same. Mercedes have locked down their drivers for 2 more years. Red Bull, with Max Verstappen committed until 2028, will likely take the current year, or at least the initial 10 races, to assess their second driver for 2025. A lot of eyes are on the second Red Bull seat, considering Red Bull's current dominance in Formula One and not so dominant performances from Sergio Perez. While speculation surrounds many, McLaren and Aston Martin have also solidified their pairings with early contract extensions. One top team that hasn't done that yet is Ferrari, and while we are hearing reports of Charles Leclerc signing a 5-year extension with the Italian outfit, there hasn't been much info about his teammate Carlos Sainz. It's plausible that Ferrari might not extend to Sainz a contract as lucrative as Leclerc's, an aspect that appears somewhat unfair, but also comprehensible. Also, when discussing championship prospects, Carlos's name often flies under the radar. So let's take a deep look at Carlos Sainz's racing career so far and try to explore why he deserves more recognition in the top order. Born into a racing family in Madrid, Spain, Carlos inherited his passion for the sport from his father, Carlos Sainz Sr., a double world rally champion who continues to compete at the age of 61. Similar to most drivers, Carlos initiated his journey in motorsport through karting, winning numerous titles. His stellar performance got him signed into the Red Bull Junior Driver program. Transitioning from karting, Carlos entered Formula BMW Europe in 2010, securing a commendable 4th place. In 2011, he participated in Formula Renault 2.0, clinching the runner-up position. Concurrently, he triumphed in the Formula Renault Northern European Cup, emerging as the champion against formidable competitors like Danny Kvyat and Stoffel Vandoorne. For the 2012 season, Carlos joined British Formula 3 and the Formula 3 European Championship, finishing 6th and 5th respectively. His journey continued in 2013 with the GP3 series, where he finished in the 10th position, while his teammate Danny Kvyat claimed the championship. As a Red Bull Junior driver, Sainz got the chance to test Toro Rosso and Red Bull F1 cars at the Silverstone circuit that year. Subsequently, in 2014, he participated in Formula Renault 3.5, clinching the championship while competing against the likes of Pierre Gasly, Oliver Rowland, and Sergei Sirotkin. In 2015, Sainz made the leap to Formula One with Toro Rosso, where his teammate that season was none other than Max Verstappen. That year, Max outshone Sainz, finishing 12th with 49 points, while Sainz concluded the season in 15th place with 18 points. Yet, the standings don't tell the whole story. In many races, Sainz was consistently competitive with Max and even outperformed him at times. However, the team faced numerous reliability issues that season, with Sainz experiencing 7 DNFs out of 19 races. In the 2016 season, Sainz continued with Toro Rosso alongside Max as his teammate. Max had an impressive start to the season and was swiftly promoted to Red Bull after just 4 races, while Danny Kvyat, who was driving for the Red Bull team at the time, was demoted to Toro Rosso. Carlos had a remarkable season with 3 6th-place finishes and consistent point-scoring performances. He was the lead point scorer for the team that year, securing 12th place in the standings, with Danny finishing 14th. Entering his 3rd year in Formula One, Sainz remained with Toro Rosso for the 2017 season. Although the season had its challenges with occasional contact with other drivers and reliability issues, Sainz adeptly navigated through them, consistently securing points. He again outperformed his teammate, and before the season concluded, it was revealed that starting in 2018, Sainz would join Renault, initially on loan from Red Bull. The 2018 season with Renault was decent for Sainz. Despite Hülkenberg outperforming him, Sainz's performance, especially in his first full year with a new team, was quite commendable. He consistently finished in the points in most of the races. However, Renault opted to sign Daniel Ricciardo for the 2019 season, prompting Carlos to seek a racing seat elsewhere. Luckily, he was signed by McLaren to fill the vacant seat left by Fernando Alonso, who decided to take a little break from Formula One for some reason. This move marked the end of his long-standing association with Red Bull. Teaming up with rookie Lando Norris at McLaren, Sainz had an outstanding year, concluding the season in 6th place in the standings. He also achieved his first podium at the Brazilian Grand Prix, courtesy of a post-race penalty for Lewis Hamilton. Remaining with McLaren in 2020, Sainz maintained his impressive form, securing 6th place in the standings yet again. Outperforming his teammate and attaining his best ever finish of 2nd in Monza, he consistently earned strong points, frequently placing in the top 6 in most races. His strong performances caught the attention of Ferrari, leading to his signing for the 2021 season with a 2-year contract. Embarking on his first year with the new team, Sainz swiftly adapted to the challenge. Ferrari was the 3rd or 4th best team that season. They were nowhere near Mercedes and Red Bull, but were in a close fight with McLaren, who were very quick in a straight line. Sainz outperformed Leclerc that season in terms of both points and podium finishes. Also, it's crucial to note that Charles faced significant misfortune, while Carlos experienced a fair share of luck with podiums. Despite Carlos finishing ahead in points, it was Charles who often crossed the finish line first in most races. Ultimately, the difference between them was just 5.5 points, and Carlos achieved his career best 5th place in the standings. Ferrari's seasons offer very intriguing narratives when examined closely, making it challenging to properly analyse the overall performances of their drivers. Moving on to the 2022 season with new regulations and cars, signalling a fresh start, Ferrari appeared to have developed a car capable of contending for the championship, or at least in the beginning of the season. However, the fortune that favoured Sainz in 2021 seemed to reverse in 2022, marked by his 6 DNFs, extinguishing any possibility of competing for top 3 positions in driver standings. A notable highlight of the season for Sainz was achieving his first pole and first win at Silverstone. Additionally, he secured 8 podiums but finished 5th overall in the standings, while Leclerc finished runner-up. He would have easily finished higher up if it weren't for the reliability issues and the unfortunate taps from the others. In 2023, Ferrari faced a lack of competitiveness and stood no chance against the superior Red Bull. And once again, both drivers encountered a series of unfortunate events. In a season dominated by the Red Bulls, Ferrari managed to secure a victory against the Bulls in Singapore, where the latter struggled with car setup. Carlos delivered a masterful performance that weekend, claiming a commanding win for Ferrari, the sole non-Red Bull race win of the season. Additionally, he again showcased remarkable skills in Monza, seizing pole position from Verstappen and securing a podium in the race. In Austria, he held off a fast-charging Perez for a significant amount of laps, helping his teammates secure 2nd place on the podium that day. These performances were not mere flukes. Sainz demonstrated genuine pace. If it weren't for the car issues and the unjust grid drop penalties, Ferrari would have easily secured 2nd place in the constructors' standings. And while Charles again outperformed Carlos in 2023, the points difference between them was just 6 points. Now, when assessing a Formula One driver, the closest benchmark is the teammate, especially when the teammate is as formidable as Charles Leclerc. This adds more significance to evaluating their overall performance. But comparing them is challenging since they don't seem to enjoy a clean season, with Ferrari often facing misfortunes that hinder a seamless performance. While Charles maintains a slight edge over Carlos in qualifying, the race pace shows them to be closely matched in the majority of the races. Both drivers exhibit strength on different circuits, showcasing their relatively equal capabilities. From 2021 to the end of 2023, Charles secured a total of 18 podiums with 3 wins, while Carlos attained 16 podiums with 2 wins. The gap between their achievements is closer than many might anticipate, and there isn't a substantial difference in their overall results. Currently, these two form one of the closest pairings on the grid in terms of performance, which is highly beneficial for the team. Such proximity in performance pushes them to consistently challenge and elevate each other, aiming for greater results. So far, Charles has been slightly outperforming Carlos, but Charles has also been a little more susceptible to mistakes, whether it's during qualifying or the race. This is where I believe Carlos exhibits greater consistency in his performances, maintaining an upper hand and making fewer errors. And let's not forget Carlos's ability to devise his own strategies while driving at speeds exceeding 300 km per hour that have been proven highly valuable, particularly when Ferrari fell short in providing him with an optimal strategy. I'm not saying that Sainz is a flawless driver at the moment. There are obviously areas for improvement, such as his qualifying and race pace on certain circuits. Additionally, a slight increase in race aggression, similar to Leclerc's approach, could be beneficial. Nevertheless, it's not a major concern. Now, there are assertions that Carlos is perceived as a secondary driver at Ferrari, but I disagree with that notion. Like Charles, he is there to vie for victories and championships. While we're on the topic, let's explore the alternative options if Ferrari were to replace Sainz in the near future. Among their academy drivers, the most viable contender is Ollie Behrman. He secured a decent 6th position in his rookie year in Formula 2. Not to forget, Formula 2 doesn't always precisely predict a driver's performance in F1. While there are rumours about Ferrari considering Alex Albon, I find them unsubstantiated. With a two-time winner and multiple pole positions holder under their belt, why would they take a risk on someone else like Albon? No offense to Albon, he's a great driver and is doing an amazing job at Williams, but Sainz is already delivering great performances. According to the reports, Ferrari were pretty keen on signing Hamilton, which would have been an iconic partnership, but again, I think that's not what Ferrari needs right now. The current concerns for Ferrari don't lie with their drivers, who, in my opinion, constitute one of the most robust pairings on the grid. Instead, Ferrari should prioritize addressing their reliability issues and enhancing the competitiveness of their car. With two drivers boasting multiple race victories and pole positions, Ferrari has a balanced and more than capable lineup. A significant area that also demands improvement is their strategic decision-making, which frequently places them at a disadvantage compared to their rivals. If Ferrari can provide their drivers with a competitive race-winning car and right strategy calls during the races, I am fairly confident that both drivers will deliver outstanding results. And on that note, it's time to end the video, guys. I've noticed that 99% of people who watch my videos forget to subscribe to the channel, so if you've enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe. It helps with motivation, you know? Also, let me know in the comment section below what you think of Carlos Sainz's performance at Ferrari and your prediction for the upcoming season. And I'll see you guys in the next video.